So welcome Anna Cazenave Cambet and Talula Casavetti. I hope I pronounced your names right.
Yeah, no, it's good. Talula,
yeah. Welcome to this talk. Very happy to be able to see you at least in this way. You're at the festival in our competition with the first feature film of Anna and the first feature film of Talula as well. I think it's quite an achievement. It's a very impressive work in many respects. I was especially impressed, and I really liked the structure of the film, the way you tell the story, so the screenplay that you wrote together, I think, with a colleague Marie-Stéphane Ambert. But of course we'll talk about the acting and how this first experience was for you, Talula. So maybe the first question would be for Anna, if you could tell us a little bit about the process of developing the screenplay that is so interesting, because it is also about language, but you tell a lot of things in between the lines, not explaining them, but showing them, letting us experience them in the moment.
It wasn't an idea to show my character by just moves and by the body language and stuff, but in a way it's my way of writing. I was sure since the beginning that there will be a monologue at the end. I knew that since the beginning, and I knew that the character of Esther was really quiet, and I knew that she didn't find a place in the world. So speaking wasn't easy for her. I don't know if in English it's terrible. And so I began to work on the idea. She was receiving the situations by her body or by her body language, and not often by speaking. I don't know if I'm clear. So it was the idea at the beginning of the character, and also I knew that landscapes will be linked on her emotions. So when she crossed some different landscapes, she crossed some different sensations and emotions and feelings, and so it was a road movie, but in a way it's not a road movie, it's more like an intimate road movie.
Mm-hmm.
How was that for you to discover, Talula, this screenplay? Did you get to read the whole screenplay? What was your
I read it very late in the process. It was very at the end. I already knew what the movie was about, and some scene, like different scenes that you told me about. But I discovered the whole screenplay 2 months before we began shooting, I think, or maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
It was in the summer, and the first time I read it, I don't really remember.
Actually, we began to by talking about the sex scenes.
Yeah, we began.
When I met Talula, she was 16, so it was a subject, and I really wanted to be really clear. So the first thing she read was the first scene. because it was the one, you know. And so I wanted to be really clear about my intentions, about how far I will go in the scene, and what I was expecting from her. So we began by by talking about that, I think.
And I think very importantly is that the first thing you told me is also why you wanted to do this scene and why it was important for you, and also that it wasn't just a free sex scene, but it was really important for the plot and really important, and it was important for you to show it. And also because you don't, I remember you told me that you don't really like free sex scenes in movie, and that it's not nothing to ask to do it to an actor, like to ask it from an actor, and that it was really important for the movie, and so it was justified. Like it wasn't out of nowhere, and that's the very first piece of writing that I read from the movie, and then I wrote the rest after. But we also began talking a lot more, Anna and me, and so the scenario came way after. Like it was the last step, I think.
Yeah.
It was,
and so the sex scene is not gratuitous, I think you say in English. The sex scene is, of course, very important for the film, and has a lot of importance for setting the stage for this question of the bodies, the sensuality, being a physical being, and where do you go from there? So I think it's something that sets the stage for your possibility to then find a trajectory that goes far away from this physical aspect. But I think the sensuality of the filming, the way that the sensorial aspects transport in the camera work, in the way you choose colors, in the way you choose, there's a lot of, you feel the materiality in the images. I think that's something that you really worked well on, and that's something that allows this travel to the spiritual world.
Thank you first. It's really nice to hear. I think the idea was that if we charge the character with this sex scene at the very beginning of the movie, so we will be able to follow her. Further.
Yeah, we can go over the sex.
Yeah,
we can, and also we can get rid of the big like, oh, is there gonna have a sex scene? Like we can get rid of it and go over it, like go further, go through it.
I wanted to be clear in the idea of a woman isn't defined, even a young woman isn't defined just by her sexuality and just by the fact she met someone, a man, older, and she can have sex with him, and it's the big thing, you know. I think nowadays we function differently, and women and men actually, and it wasn't important for me to say, okay, my character is really sexual in a way, so I show you that in the very beginning, and then we can begin to reflect on it, and we can begin to be more complex, and to think what is sexuality, what is the limits, what is desire for young women, and so we can construct with her an idea of what is it to become a woman,
to become
a woman.
You know, I was thinking about this, the role of what kind of woman is it and what kind of perspective is it. Mannheim and Heidelberg are very close to the French border, but I think the definition or the ideas of what feminism is and what role can a woman play are quite different in Germany and in France. So I'm really interested in how you relate to this question of the female perspective, the feminism, and what role the woman as a lead character plays.
Definitely, it's really important for me to speak as a female director and to construct my way of shooting movies in the idea of I don't want anymore that the actress be just objects, just objectifying. You know, when I wrote this character, I was sure that for some people it would be disturbing to know if she's active or passive, because in movie and in French cinema, you have some really passive women, really beautiful, and they are waiting and being in love, and that's all. And now, for some years, we began to have some really strong character, really strong women who are like really loud and really, and I wanted to write another kind of personage, of character, another kind of woman, young woman, who is really strong, actually, really, really able to do her thing, to do her way, but in a really quiet way, really spiritual way, in a way too. And in France, things are moving about cinema, but really slowly, really, really slowly. And it's still not a war, but a combat. It's still a fight to find a place, to find people who want to hear some voices. And even we talk a lot, French talks a lot about feminism, but don't do much.
Yeah. Also about when you said about passive or active, and it made me really mad. Like when people told me like, oh, because there have been some responses of the movie that there is like it's a very passive character. It's not a good image for the woman, and I'm like. She crosses the freeway by how is that not passive, like how is that not active, like you can't yeah, it's not a passive character, like there's a lot of like I don't know.
No, I completely agree. I think that there is, I mean, she talks about this, that she is a listening character. So there is something of her that is maybe related to a stereotype of the caring woman. There is this aspect in her DNA, or rather her upbringing, the way she was socialized, the way that her parents brought her up, or her mother brought her up, to be one who listens and who is there for others. But she decides to take the life and make something different out of it.
Yeah, it's really interesting how you say that, and I'm really happy to hear that, because it's not, I really think that, for example, when she say I'm a listening person, it's because someone, society and her mother and people around her tells her that that was the only way for her to be. And it's not because she say she is that, that she is only that. But yeah, in a way, she's really young, and people told her all the time, that's what you mean to be. And in my opinion, the character of Esther is about to write own legend, because she's always telling what people say about her, and she say, I'm like that because people say you was like that when you was baby, and stuff. And I think the idea of growing up as a woman is how you do your own empowerment about your own story, how you begin to tell your own story. And power is that, for me, is what constructs you and what you do with it now. And it's and you have to decide. I don't have to give my opinion about that. You don't have to do neither, you know. It's about how you empowerment yourself.
I think also, yeah, about power. I think for me, Esther is a very strong character and a very powerful character, because she's got. It's a person who's got a love to give, and the same way she's been taught to listen. She's also been taught that the only way she can give love is with men and through men. And that's why at first there's also the story with Jean. But I think it's just a character, and we see through the movie with the young sister, the nun, that she's just a person who's got a lot of love to give. And I think it's a very strong quality to have, because to give love, it's a very, you need a lot of strength to give love, and without expecting some of it back. And just, I think for me, it's a very powerful. And that's also like, it's not, I'm getting mixed up, but but yeah, and Jean is not like the ultimate answer for it all. It's just at first her idea of what she has to do, like what she has been taught to, where the love she has to give has been taught to be put. But then you find out that it's not working, and then she moves on and she meets other people, and she's ready to give more love to other people and to the nun. So it's not about just a girl who meets a boy and falls madly in love with him and goes crazy and go. It's just about a woman who's got, like, it's not at all about Jean. Like, no, but Jean is not a. It's not an ending. Like, it's not a. How do you say? C'est pas une finalité, quoi. It's not. It's
Finality,
not an ending. Ouais,
it's not an end, yeah, or a finality, yeah. I think that the interesting thing is, and that's why it's not so easy to talk about it, maybe, is that it's a lot about openness, and it's proposed in the film in some way that she tells her the young girl who is in the convent with her. She tells her, "I don't judge." But it's really something that you can feel in the film before you learn to know her, and you see that she experiences a lot of adversity and people judging her, and everybody has their opinion about her, but she doesn't. She doesn't even go in this direction, and she doesn't even have the idea of judging others.
Yeah, and that's why she's strong for me. because she's got this superpower, you know. She's that's the idea of queerness for me. That's tolerance, and she's really able to love and to give love and to receive love from any people she met. And for me, that's that's the biggest strength you can have. And that's a clue. When I wrote this sentence, I don't judge, it was really the key, you know. Some people see it and some people don't see it, but for me it's really fun, because I really wrote it like that's the key of the movie, you know. She doesn't judge, and you do have to do the same for being touched by the movie. You that's the key. And that's fun for me to see when people see it or no.
How much is it about the South and Paris? I mean, there is this travel, of course, and we have the first third of the film that is in the South, that is at the coast, at the beach, and the young woman comes from there, and she goes to Paris, and I think that there is a lot of you know, intercultural communication going on, because the way she talks and the people in Paris talk, but also how they act and how they, if you say like judge, I mean, of course, not only the people in Paris judge, but I think that it is also a film about these two different worlds meeting each other.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to work with Tallulah about that, because she's really Parisian. And at the beginning, I thought I will find a young woman from countryside, and I wasn't sure Parisian girl would be able to do this role. And so we talk a lot about that. And at the beginning, it was a big conversation about how you can love Esther, how you can
understand her.
Understand her, yeah. And it was really interesting. Yeah. That's because for Tallulah, the idea of being half naked in the street at night was really crazy. You know, she was like, but why she's half naked? It was a common sense, you know. So I had to explain, and it was really.
Yeah, or even at first for me it was I didn't understand Esther at all. I thought she was I thought she was really, really weird. I was just really weirded out by her. Like I was just like cringe. Like it was, but I learned, because I didn't understand why she had why did she go and move to Paris? Like wait, like I didn't understand at all. And so we had a long conversation with Anna to understand her
and to understand maybe the violence between the two states. You know, when you come from countryside and you're really young, and you come to the big city, and nothing is clear for you. Nothing is you have different codes, different way. As you said, you have a different way of talking and moving, and I really wanted to make Esther character with really a really pure character, in a way, really naive in the good way, you know, able to think that everyone's around her will be enough, full of love and full of bienveillance, which is
goodwill or something.
I think for me, like also with the fright, Esther is never frightened, and I've always been like I'm way more frightened in life than her, and so by that she taught me a lot, because yeah, it never occurred to me that you can just walk in the street like that, because I'm really afraid all the time. And because I know Paris, I know everything, and it's a character that is not afraid, and because she keeps moving, and that's also why she's very strong. Like, she's got this regenerative strength that just keeps on going, and so it allows her to not be afraid, and just or to go through that fright, and to go over it. And but yeah, the difference between Paris and the countryside was yeah, because Paris for me is so familiar. I didn't know how, at first, how to apprehend it by new eyes, and by someone who never saw it. And there was a lot of things that didn't make sense to me, because I'm so clenched, and I don't know the right word, in my life, and so it was just difficult for me at
So
first.
this acting experience was really a transformation for you in a way.
But yes, but in many levels, because it was also my first experience. So it was just, it was a very, a lot of transformation. But even because it was my first working experience, my first acting experience, so there was a lot going on. So it was a very it was amazing, because I learned so much and Anna gave me a lot of tools, even for me, and yeah, no, it was a very, very big experience. Yeah.
And it was really impressive for me to see Tallulah. She was she made some. She was stronger and stronger in her acting. She at the end we shot the Paris part at the end of the shooting, and it was a really hard week, because we had so many things to do in just a week, and Tallulah was stronger than everyone from the team. She was really into her role. She knew about Esther even more than me, and it was really helpful for me at the end of the shooting to see that she was really strong, really rooted to the script. Yeah, she learned really fast.
Yeah, I think it was really at the end. I think it got easier, not easier, but just I knew what to do, because we have been working now. We had been working a few weeks by then, and we started to know what we wanted, it was but it was really fun. It wasn't always fun, but I got really good memories from it. But I remember it was really okay, now I know what to do. I could go in Esther mode very, very quickly.
How did you two find each other?
Instagram. No.
Yeah, Instagram, in a way. We had a casting director with I don't know, Sauvage, casting Sauvage, wide casting. Do you use this term?
Street casting.
Yeah, street casting.
And so she asked for tapes from a young woman, and she knew Tallulah from another project. And so I received the tape of Tallulah at the very beginning of the casting. And I was really, since the beginning, I was interested by her. But I was also a bit confused, because she wasn't really close to the character I wrote at the beginning. And so I met her, and when I met her, I knew it was her. So we had to work to link Tallulah and Esther.
So did this influence your writing or the way the shape the film would take from the moment of the casting on?
In a way, Tallulah helped me to construct Esther. Yeah, not the she didn't change the screenplay because I'm a bit maniac, or I don't know how to say. The script was the same, but she really changed the character. Yes, I think, and yeah, that's what she explained. We talk a lot to connect Tallulah and Esther.
All right, so this is the beginning of an acting career, Tallulah. Do you plan on continuing in this field of work?
I hope so. I mean, I would gladly do it. I mean, I loved it, so yeah, why not?
Great.
It's a bit frustrating for us because the movie was played in some theater, but really few. And now we're locked down. And at the beginning, we were supposed to I don't know the date of the was the 25th
of the outing of the movie. Well, the first screening of the movie.
Yeah, it was the 25th. So now it's everything is stopped. So it's a bit frustrating and I think for Tallulah, it's frustrating.
It's also the meeting of your audiences. I mean,
yeah.
It's the beginning, like the whole start of the launch of your film. Your film was selected by the Cannes Critics Week, and it could not take place in person. So it was only a later screening that was able to be shown in France, and then you had a couple of other festival screenings, but mostly you cannot travel with your film, and the film can only travel in very limited ways, which is such a pity.
Yeah, but that's why it's even that's quite frustrating. But at the same time, so it's weird because sometimes I get messages from and also Anna. Sometimes you get messages from people across the world, like a guy from Tokyo. And I received a message like 2 days ago from a guy from Mexico. And
people from Mexico seen the movie.
And you're like, it's the best. It's really the best to hear that people have seen the film. And you don't even know how they got it, but it's really cool. I'm really happy whenever someone messages me. And
is there a way to contact you for the audience if they discover your film
Instagram,
in Mannheim-Heidelberg?
Yeah, Instagram and feel
both
free
of us.
Yeah,
we love it.
We love to talk with people, like, because we have for now we just have conversation with people from the cinema, from journalists and critics, and it's amazing, and we are lucky. We are really supporting by critics, but it's really frustrating to not be able to talk with regular public, with when you do movies, you do it for public, for audience, for real people, and so yeah, we will be really happy to talk with people.
But yeah, Instagram, DM us. No, but
Well, I wish you best of luck with the possibility of meeting audiences via different ways, and of course, I hope that the cinemas will open very soon again, and that your film can be shown in cinemas.
Yeah, we
you.
Hope so. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for being with us and for giving us a little bit of insight into your work, and hope to welcome you again with your next works.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.